miss me, I would just like to say, Ayushi, please keep the audience entertained because I am not here. Hi guys, this is Mansi and welcome to One Girl Spiraling. And that's not me because, like most of you, I have also not done my homework. I have not watched Zubeidaa. So of course, Ayushi, our host of the this episode, is gonna take this forward. So I would like everybody to just welcome her with lots of claps. But what Ayushi is doing is she's gonna deconstruct one of the movie that she watched, which is Zubeidaa, and there's a lot to talk about here. And of course, after that, I'm gonna watch that movie. And if you want to watch movie with me, just hit a like.
So I recently watched Zubeidaa and it was amazing. Even though Mansi did not watch it, and you should tell her to watch it ASAP. How that film make all of us rethink about history. So usually when we are taught history, we are asked to concentrate only on facts, cold, objective, neutral facts. And the historian is seen to be a person who will tell you what exactly happens without having any feelings, no agenda, and just truth. But is it the case? Is what I want to ask all of you. What if history is not the mirror, but actually a script? What if it does not just reflect the past, but it also constructs it? एंड इधर ही आ जाते हैं बहुत बड़े महाशय पोस्ट मॉडर्निज्म के हेडन वाइट who in his magnum opus talks about this idea of meta history, which completely changed the way people used to think about it before that. He argued that history is not a science, it is actually narrative that is built. It is sort of like telling a story. And the historian, they are not this scientific neutral messenger, but actually narrators, the editors of events, and also an unreliable witness who tries to stitch together something meaningful out of the events that are present towards him. Essentially, the past isn't neutral, but actually it is a story that is not devoid of the meaning the historian wants to get out of it. The facts do not speak for themselves, but they require the historian to speak for them. That's what Hayden White said in his passage. And you see Zubeidaa as a film thematically engaging with this idea of history. So, think about this. The movie starts with Zubeidah's funeral. The person we are going to pursue for the rest of the movie is dead. Any possibility of knowing who she really is has died with her. And what is left with us now, as the viewers and the audience, is remembering, the retelling, and the reframing. And who does all this remembering and reframing? Her son Riyaaz, who in this movie works as the historian. His mother, who was erased by the royal family she was married into, or erased by her strict patriarchal father, is forgotten or made to be forgotten made to be forgotten, and that becomes the reason Riaz wants to inquire about.
उसका मतलब कि उनके साथ उनकी छोटी रानी नहीं थी जो दिल्ली जा रही थी?
छोटी रानी? There was no छोटी रानी.
Like the historian, he goes out, interviews, listens, look for ways, look for objects like the tape to see who his mother really is, and in that process archives her. And what he uncovers throughout his journey isn't a single story or a single fact that can truly define who Zubeidaa is, but actually multiple stories. For her mother, Zubeidaa was the person who dared to dream two big dreams. For her co-wife, she saw her as a disruptor and the probable murderer of their husband. For her choreographer, she was the greatest dancer who could not live up to her potential. every version of these stories are versions of Zubeidaa, are perspective towards Zubeidaa, but are not Zubeidaa herself. There is no final draft who that encapsulates Zubeidaa, and the film knows this. It addresses it and it actually indulges with it. That is why when Zubeidaa comes on screen for the first time, she's not wearing any of the saris or the beautiful suits she wears throughout the movie. She's wearing a costume of a fairy. Because in all the stories that the little boy Riyaaz heard about his mother from his nani, is her mother being a fairy, and that's how you meet her as well. She is the interpretation of her son, not herself. And that is why this movie is not a biography, it is not a documentary, but it's a son's loving attempt to write his mother back into existence. This is also quite beautiful and poignant that the writer of the movie is Khalid Mohammed, the real son of Zubeidaa. So the script or the movie is not just a script or a movie for entertainment. It's a personal work of his very personal grief of losing out his mother at such a young age. And it's a loving attempt for him to bring back his mother into culture, to the mainstream culture, and then again archiving.
माँ को ट्रिब्यूट देना चाहता है और उसकी याद कायम रखना चाहता है, इसलिए मैंने लिखी थी ये कहानी.
The closest we ever come to meeting Zubeidaa in the film is when Riyaaz, who stands for Khalid Mohammed in the movie, is able to finally recover the lost tape of his mother dancing on the song of his first film that never sees the light of the day. And in this song, she is beautifully dancing to the number "मैं अलबेली घूमूं अकेली कोई पहेली हूँ मैं." That's it. That's the thesis of the movie. Zubeidaa is a riddle. She cannot be deciphered. And in that way, what Zubeidaa does so beautifully as a film is that it tells you that it cannot give you the truth. It gives you the attempt of her son reaching towards it. It's not it's not an attempt to tell her that who she really is. It's an attempt of making a mythology out of her and to sit with her and the impossibility of ever knowing her. It relinquishes or it leaves the overconfidence that history usually comes with, that I will tell you the definitive truth and the truth that no one has ever told you. No, that's not what the film does. It embraces Hayden White's radical idea that history is narrative, and writing history is like being Riyaaz, going on a journey and then taking stories and incidences and perspective of somebody or of something, and also accepting that even though you're going through this journey, you will never ever will be able to tell what exactly went on. And historians then can choose how to tell all these stories and decide how they want these stories to be remembered by. This is a question for you as people who are listening keenly to me, is how do you think Riyaaz or Khalid Mohammed want his mother to be remembered by? When I watched the film, I realized that Riyaaz or Khalid Mohammed wants us to remember Zubeidaa as a girl who just wanted to dance in a society that frowned upon it.
मैं तो उन्हें हमेशा ऐसे याद रखूंगा जैसे वो एक परियों की शहजादी थी, बस.
So now to think about history away from the film, I feel we ourselves need to ask a lot of questions when we are reading something that is supposed to be a historical fact. Who wrote this historical fact? When was it written? Why was it written? And for whom was it written? And most importantly, what all people, things, situations, and contexts are these historical facts that we are reading not taking in? Because it will tell you that when a historian chooses to write something, he also or she also chooses to not write about something. And in that not comes another perspective to a particular situation. I also feel when you truly accept that the absences and the gaps that the past, absence and the gap of rebuilding the past, and that the historiographer or an ethnographer can never close these gaps. There are two things that happen. One, it decentralizes the idea of facts, figures, numbers as the gospel truth. Every time you see a prime time TV or you see Jubilee as a YouTube channel, you will see people throwing numbers when they want to justify their claims. It is a good technique, of course, but it's not a technique, rid of all the flaws. When you are giving numbers or when you're thinking of numbers, you have to think what are the ways these numbers were taken, what was the methodology, what was the data collection, who sponsored the data collection, what result, how can we say that this result, how can this result be replicated. So these are very important questions when you think about figures and numbers. Secondly, when you think of history in terms of stories and myths and literature of that time, you also bring humanity back to it. So when we are thinking about a catastrophe like partition, it was not like this number people died. It was like these human beings were not able to survive it, or were brutally killed, or these stories were left unheard. So when you bring humanity back to history, it generates empathy. It gives you ways for you to not for it to not be repeated. So I think these are two things that I want all of you also to think about and tell me what your thoughts are about this, so that we can, complicate this idea of history and history writing and even history reading. How should you read history? Should be our next conversation after you watch the film, Zubeidaa, of course. Mansi, now you can come in. Very patiently, she's listening to all of this.
Like you all should be too. So Aishi has put together a lot of
Yeah.
deconstruction here for
Too
all
much.
of us to question. I'm sorry, I missed watching, but hopefully next time.
We will make a vlog of Mansi watching it,
Yes.
and then I will force her to think the way I told her to think. That is going to happen next.
Yes, because wherever we sit,
We spiral.
we spiral.
we
That's
turn the entire place as a spiral center.
Yes. So this is the spiral center. When we were just sitting, we wanted to just watch something. So Aishi thought she would want to talk to you guys about the movie she watched.
Yeah. You should also watch Zubeidaa because it has amazing wardrobe.
That's what she has pitched me. Like, she's wearing so beautiful clothes and
I
everything.
love
I think
it.
you should watch it and everything. And Karishma Kapoor is beautiful, so we
Yeah.
might just watch it for the sake of
She's
Karishma
love.
Kapoor.
I
No,
mean,
not
she's
love.
nice. She's okay.
She's okay. But
Sorry,
we watch it.
Karishma Kapoor.
If you watch it, if you someday watch the fact that we talked about you, you might. We are sorry.
Yes.
Don't cancel us. We love Saif.
That's Karina's husband.
I know, but we love Saif. It's just I'm just
Uh,
making a statement, guys.
yeah.
So thank you guys for if you were here till here. Let's big round of applause for Ayushi
And
for
for
making us
all-
watch it.
No, and for all of you to listen all these jargons
Yes.
I have thrown.
Yes.
And this is what we will in the middle of all our
Yeah.
streaming will also do. हम कोशिश करेंगे कि हम थोड़ा बहुत ऐसी भी चीजें डालें,
Yes.
क्योंकि हमें बड़ा मजा आता है हर चीज को इंटेलेक्चुअलाइज करने में.
और ये हमारा परसेप्शन होना चाहिए आपके दिमाग में, like we discussed in the last episode. But yeah, so just to end this, we are again, hi, we are still two girls spiraling. It was just about one person today, but we are still two girls who are spiraling together. We are not professionals, we are barely
Human
humans, like we
beings.
always say.
Yes.
Please subscribe to us. Please give us a thumbs up if you really like our content. Even if you don't, just watch it. Give us views. We don't mind it.
And
But
if you like overthinking, random wisdom, and brain rot content, please.
and my memes.
Yes, and her memes. Please subscribe to us and join this beautiful spiral community.
Bye guys. Happy watching Zubeidaa. Bye bye.
Yay.